debut. I'm Mal, gold jewelry wearer and longtime Percy Jackson fan.
And I'm Julie, Percy Jackson newbie and Festus mourner. Very sad.
Yeah, real and accurate. And this is a podcast about Julie reading The Lost Hero for the first time. I did, in fact, make the Greek and Roman gods cheat sheet for Julie. It is currently just a list of the names side by side because I couldn't figure out, succinct enough personalities for each one, but I'll noodle on it. Also, I accidentally pulled an all-nighter last night doing that and also editing episode 66, so we're running on 3 hours of sleep and a dream, so...
Oh my god.
It's a great time. So, yeah. Also, a lot has happened since we last recorded. We got a season 2 teaser. We got to see Tyson for the first time, which was very important to me.
And he's not ugly.
Yes, he's not. Cyclopses in live action are always a little bit off, but it's worlds better than the movie, and that's what counts.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, so anyway, here we are, back at it. It's been 2 weeks since we last recorded, and I'm ready to get into it. Are you ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
All right, so we start with a Leo chapter. And so we are flying away from the exploded ruins of evil Macy's. And nothing seems to be following, so it's kind of assumed that Medea and the dragons, exploded. However, Festus is not doing well, unfortunately. He's got some popping and some clicking noises going on, and Leo worries that the control disc is failing again, and he also worries that carrying 2 cages and 3 people is maybe pushing him too hard. And he thanks Piper for saving them, and then comes a collection of lines that I feel really seen by. Don't worry about it, Piper said, but Leo worried a lot. I too am a warrior king.
Relatable.
And so then comes some things that he's worrying about. So he worries about how easy it was for Medea to turn he and Jason against each other, and he thinks about how, the resentment didn't come from nowhere. He also calls Jason his best friend, which feels kind of sad considering he's only known Jason for 4 days.
Yeah.
Not that you can't become good friends with someone in 4 days, especially in the context of a quest, but if anything, wouldn't Piper be his best friend?
Yeah, that makes more sense. Because I was going to say, Leo has been, running away and, probably hasn't had, a lot of time to make close friends, but it would seem that he should, at least in theory, be closer to Piper.
Yeah, because they at least went to the wilderness school together and were collectively gaslit by Hera. But I don't know, I guess it does beg the question, what was their relationship prior to all of this? Were they actually friends, or was their friendship also a trick of the mist?
Yeah, I guess the whole mist thing in this book is confusing me. What it's able to do. I get in, previous books, humans can't see, monsters and blah, 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 blah. But, the idea that it can cause you to have, this false memory is kind of hard to wrap my head around.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And can we trust anything that they say happened at the wilderness school? Was all of it fake?
Right, what is reality? Because, it's all subjective because we're getting all of their different points of view. One of whom has amnesia and does not remember anything.
Right.
And the other 2 are seemingly almost brainwashed. Not brainwashed, but, they have these false memories. So it's what is the truth?
Yeah. I do remember seeing online, I can't remember if it was a one-shot fanfic or if it was a Tumblr post, but remember someone posing the idea that Hera hadn't invented this romantic relationship from nothing, mm-hmm. and what if the relationship had actually been between Piper and Leo, mm-hmm. and then it was changed to be Jason instead, which I don't ship Piper and Leo. Also, hot take, I don't even really ship Piper and Jason, mm-hmm. but that's another thing. But I don't know, it's incredibly interesting the more you think about it, because it's what's the truth?
What is the truth? I need to know.
And then it's can we trust because what if everything that happened in the first series was false memories?
Don't start. Don't start. You're gonna, my world is gonna come crashing down.
It's all pretend.
Yeah. I can't handle the uncertainty.
I will say that there's more exploration of the mist in this series, and I don't think that I understand it any more than I did when I started. So
I'm not alone.
It's just
confusing.
Yeah. I'm just kind of okay.
Take it at face value.
The mist can do whatever Rick needs it to do for the plot. That's the rules of the mist.
Gotcha.
So that feels right.
Fair enough. It's his world. We're just reading it.
Yeah. But what is the truth? And then Leo immediately like blames himself again for his mom's death. He says it may not have been his fire powers, but the fact that she was killed because of something he might do still makes it his fault. No, it doesn't. And he also he hopes for a second that Medea goes right back to the fields of punishment, and then he feels bad about it, which means he's a better person than me because we all know I'm like, I hope Luke Castellan is rotting in hell, you know, as a penance for his war crimes.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't even wrong me personally. Like he's not a real character. I mean, he's not a real person. He's a real character. He's a character. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not a real person. But Medea did personally wrong Leo because they are both characters.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're allowed to wish that someone is in the fields of punishment, but maybe that's just because I wish that and I want to convince myself that I'm a good person.
Maybe Leo's a better person than you.
He probably is, and that's fine. I mean, he's lovely and he's great, and the girlies on the internet are feral for Leo, so the girlies on the internet have never been feral for me.
They don't know you, Mal. If they knew you, they would be feral over you.
If any of the girlies want to start being feral for me on the internet, that would be great. I would really appreciate it. It would be a nice ego boost.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I'm torn between please be feral for me and then don't perceive me ever.
Yeah.
So it's a really complicated line to walk.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Leo also wonders if, since Medea came back, if his mom could also come back, since it seems like souls are coming back from the underworld right now. But he very quickly thinks, no, that's not natural. I shouldn't do that. Again, better person than me. I would go full Orpheus and try to lead my mom out of the underworld.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a fun arc, though, to do the Orpheus Eurydice thing.
I would do it for my mom. That's gonna make me cry.
And you would not turn around?
Just thinking about it.
What a myth, Orpheus and Eurydice.
Go watch Hadestown if you haven't seen it.
Yeah. Speaking of moms, I did just take my mom to see Hadestown.
What'd you think?
She did not like it, so...
What? What?
She told me she didn't think she was artsy enough for it, and I was like, okay. But she tends to like comedy musicals, so she really enjoys, like, Book of Mormon.
Ew.
And she really liked Shucked. Like, she likes when things are silly. And Hadestown is not silly.
Hadestown is so good, though.
It's so good.
It's my favorite. I'll see it like a million times. I don't care.
We'll sing it again.
Exactly.
And again.
I need a live recording like they did for Hamilton. Like, I'd rather have that of Hadestown so I could just watch it.
Oh, that would be so good.
You see Hamilton's coming to theaters? They're doing a theatrical release.
I did, yes.
Are you gonna go?
Unfortunately, yeah, I will be there.
I kind of want to go, too.
Like, it would be fun. Have you been seeing the videos of people, like, crawling out of windows dressed as Hamilton?
They're so good.
Those are so funny. I don't know why they're so funny, but they are.
Mm-hmm.
They're hilarious. My roommates just made one.
Love.
In which one of my roommates was Eliza, and the other one was crawling out the basement window. It was
Beautiful.
great. Alright, so then Leo mentions heading to the Bay Area, and so we kind of touch on Piper's big secret, but we still don't really talk about it, because she tells them that Medea said they would both die in the Bay Area, and they need to find Aeolus anyway to figure out where exactly they need to go. Then Jason says, oh yeah, but we've been following this vapor trail in the sky, as if this is information that everyone was aware of, and he thinks that it will lead us to Aeolus, or also could maybe be a trap. Also, Leo tries to tell Piper that if her dad is in trouble, they'll help her, and she says that they can't, and then she just leans back on Jason and closes her eyes to go to sleep.
Fair.
I don't want to talk.
I'm going to sleep now. If you don't mind. I love how she just ended it as, if you don't mind, doesn't finish. Like, oh, I'm gonna, like, I need sleep, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, just goes back to sleep.
And you know what? That's her right as a girl, to be a little bit dramatic and just go to sleep when she wants to avoid her conversations.
Yes. Agree.
And then Leo starts to get a little sleepy himself, and Jason convinces him to let him drive for a bit, and Leo immediately crashes. And so I'm kind of like, is Jason driving the dragon from the back?
He is literally backseat driving.
Yes, not to be confused with last time when he was backseat driving, as in giving Leo pointers. Right. This time he's literally driving from the backseat, and also maybe with Piper asleep on him. So, like, but how much steering does Festus really require?
And he seemed to be following. He could see, like, where he was going.
Yeah, because he could see the vapor
So
trail.
He seemed to be flying on his own.
Yeah. Festus knew what was up. R.I.P. Festus. So then Leo has a very staticky dream where he finds himself in a massive workshop and then finds himself face to face with his father. Leo says he should maybe feel speechless or awestruck meeting his father for the first time, but really he just feels annoyed. He tells Hephaestus that it's great parenting to show up now after 15 years, and also he calls him Furface. And Hephaestus says this reminds him of Leo's mother, and he also says he misses her, which leads me to the conclusion that Hephaestus is just a guy who likes it when a woman is a little bit mean to him, which, relatable. Hephaestus tells Leo that despite all the evidence to the contrary, he does in fact care about him. He's just not very good with organic life forms. That's my father, too. And Hephaestus says he thought about speaking to him at his mother's funeral, or when he made a steam-powered chicken chunker as a science project in the 5th grade. And I am desperate to know more about this. Because what does this mean? Is it a steam-powered machine to throw chickens, or like a steam-powered machine to chop them into chunks?
I really hope it's not the second one. That sounds disgusting.
Or a secret third option that's
Yeah.
something different.
Who knows? I don't. A chicken chunker? Is that what it was? Chucker? What was it?
Chunker.
Chunker. Maybe it makes chicken nugget.
I hope it's throwing. Like, I hope it's like a
Yeah.
catapult.
I don't know. Chunker makes me nervous.
Chunking.
Like chucking, I would get because
'Cause
that's like throwing something.
Chucking, yeah.
Chunking.
But I've also heard people use like chunking
Really?
as throwing, I
I've
think.
never heard that.
Hold on. Okay, this is not the right thing. This is chunking, isn't a memory technique. Oh, it's a thing in golf. Chunking the golf ball is when you hit the ground before the ball. Okay, chunking, when referring to throwing, can mean several things depending on the context. In some regions, particularly in the South, chunking can be used as a verb to mean to throw something, similar to chuck.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, yeah, so it's
Yeah.
probably throwing.
Let's go with that.
And that would make sense, considering both Rick and I are from Texas. That makes me feel a little bit better that we're not cutting chickens into pieces. Also, Leo's kind of shocked that his dad saw that project at all, but Hephaestus shows him a little mirror that he uses to keep an eye on him, which is
Creepy.
It's kind of cute. It's kind of sweet. And kind of creepy. You're right. It's a little creepy. Leo then realizes that his father is scared of talking to him, and that makes him a little less angry because he kind of understands the feeling. Because hiding in a workshop is easier than talking to people. And he asks if Hephaestus keeps an eye on all of his kids, since he's got 12 at camp. And Leo also kind of starts to wonder how that's possible. Then he's like, nope, I don't want to know. And Hephaestus says that gods can exist in many places at once, which means that having a lot of kids that are close to the same age is possible. But then again, like, Nick Cannon's got about that many kids, and he's just a dude.
He's just a dude.
Like, well, I mean, he's not a god. That's what I was going for. I mean, when you're not the one who has to grow the kid in your body, like,
It's pretty easy.
technically, you could be making multiple kids a day. Like, you don't even need to be a god for that one. Hephaestus also starts to say something about, like, different aspects, Greek and Roman, but then cuts himself off, so we don't get to hear about if he maybe has Roman children? Leo then asks why he's contacting him now, when Olympus is supposedly closed, but Hephaestus says he kept his old pirate broadcasting equipment, which is this wild-looking machine that includes a satellite dish and a coffee maker, and he used this for Radio Free Hephaestus during the Cold War. And we can talk about my silly chapter title now instead of at the end, because this is why I called it Radio Free Hephaestus, because I figured you would make the connection to Radio Free Europe in your prediction, which you did, because that's, what this is. And then I'm a big fan of the way Leo asks why Zeus is being such a jerk, and Hephaestus says it's because he excels at that.
That's a good line.
Get him. And then he elaborates a little bit, saying that the gods were embarrassed because they won the war only with the help from the demigods of, then a very dramatic pause to indicate that he's keeping something from us. The demigods of Redacted and Camp Half-Blood.
Mm-hmm.
And then Percy Jackson had the nerve to turn down immortality, as if being immortal was somehow better than being a god, and tell them to pay more attention to their children. So, Perseus, pay your freaking child support, Jackson. Ruined it for everyone. I miss him so bad.
Yeah.
But also, like, he was right.
Okay, I think I got spoiled.
No!
That Percy's not in this book at all. Like, whatsoever.
Maybe.
And I can't remember if I saw that, or I think one of our guests might have said it.
I think Camille said it.
Yeah, as like a flippant, because I was going to text you during the episode, I think, and be like, I'm sorry, what? Percy's not in this book at all? But I didn't end up texting you during the episode, but I was like, I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
It's like the little things, because like obviously, like, you guys have read it before, so you know, like, what
Right.
happens, so you don't think of it as, like, a spoiler, but, like, I have no
Yeah, it's
idea,
like
so
it
I'm
doesn't feel
like,
like a spoiler to be like, "Oh yeah, this." Yeah.
wait a
I know.
second.
That's why like I feel like I'm towing such a weird line because I'm like I want to talk about the things I want to talk about, but then also I can't get into everything I want to get into because it's spoilery.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just thought of that when you mentioned that.
But if Percy's not in this book, you have to figure out where is Percy?
True.
What's he doing? Because I will say that when I read this at age 14, 15, however old I was when I read this, I did not clock it until they told me.
Mm,
And that's kind of embarrassing because reading it back, I'm like, they were really feeding it to me.
gotcha. Okay.
But then it also might make me feel a little bit better if you don't figure it out.
Fair.
Because I'll be like, okay,
Yeah, now I gotta, like, go back through my notes and, like, be like,
where's
where are the
Percy?
hints?
It is a lot of things that you have to piece together.
Mhm.
Anyway, basically, TLDR. All that to say, Zeus has gotten bitter and decided that they need to return to traditional values. Gag.
Ew. And this current climate, alarm bells going off.
Yeah, I'm like, that never feels great when somebody's like, we need to go backwards.
Yeah.
Hephaestus also says that none of the gods believe that this is really going to stop what's coming, but they're not really in any shape to fight another war. And he gives us a little bit of lore on the giants. Basically, Gaia and Ouranos, the earth and the sky, had the Titans, and then, Kronos killed his father and took over, and then the gods killed Kronos and took over. And then Gaia and Tartarus had the giants as revenge for the fall of the Titans. And he says that Hera is playing a dangerous game, but that she's right, and the demigods have to unite. Leo asks why him, why claim him now, and why not warn him about all of this earlier. And Hephaestus says that the hardest part is having to let his kids find their own path, which sounds to me a lot like what Hermes said about Luke, and we all know how that turned out.
Woo, woo, woo. Alarm bells.
This is my second Luke mention of the episode, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, then the dream starts getting interrupted by Wheel of Fortune, and Hephaestus says their time is running out. He tells Leo that his fire is a gift, and that they're never going to be able to defeat the giants without him, much less the mistress that they serve. And he leaves Leo with one last piece of advice, which is nothing lasts forever, not even the best machines, and everything can be reused. And then the dream ends, and Leo wakes up to Piper and Jason screaming. Woo! And that is the end of this chapter. And I already talked about why my chapter title was what it was. And I do feel good about that one.
That was a good one. I like that one. The only other little tidbit from that convo I liked was where he talked about viral brain videos.
Yeah.
And I'm like, TikTok. Like, that's what immediately popped in my head. I'm like, TikTok videos.
My thought was brain rot.
Yes.
Hephaestus is putting brain rot videos in directly into everyone's head. Hephaestus is putting those videos of Hamilton climbing out the window.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Any other thoughts on the dream or
No, I gotta reread my notes, to be honest. I feel like we had 2 weeks off and I'm still kind of like,
I know.
what are we reading?
No, I know. I read an entire book series in between this, and it was like insanity. I have never felt that crazy while reading a book. It was insanity. All right, so chapter 30. Another Leo chapter. And once again, Festus is falling. Leo tells Jason to take Piper and fly away to try to lighten Festus's load so he can try to reboot him. He manages to get into a weak glide and tries to land on the lawn of a massive mansion. But then he's blinded by sudden spotlights and hears the sound of metal being cut and blacks out. Leo wakes up and immediately wants to know what happened to Festus. Jason and Piper are unharmed, and so is the cages, but unfortunately, our guy Festus has been cut up into pieces. And so,
He saved them.
I know, he saved them.
Festus.
And then, in an incredibly sad scene, Leo, picks up Festus's head. And it says his eyeball lights are flickering weakly. And Leo says, "You can't go. You're the best thing I ever fixed."
Am I gonna cry over this fake metal dragon head? What the fuck?
Uh-huh. Yeah. It's rough.
Mm-hmm.
So Festus then tells him something in Morse code, and Leo says he understands and promises to do whatever it is that Festus asks. And now, Leo doesn't translate for us, but he says it's like a simple message repeated over and over. So I am thinking that this is like one word, probably a short word, because Morse code is kind of complicated. So
It's by letters, right?
Yeah, like it doesn't seem like Festus could be giving him a very complicated message.
Yeah.
So they have actually told us what Festus's head is going to be used for, but it was like episode 2 that we did of The Lost Hero. So I don't know if you remember. But
What kind of question is that?
right, I figured.
You know damn well I do not remember.
All will be revealed in time, but
Mhm.
I did try to break down the Morse code that it gives us because I was like, there are 2 4-letter words that I feel like Festus could be saying right now. And so, what it gives us in the book is it says, the dragon clicked, long creak, 2 short clicks, creak, creak. Morse code is like dots and dashes. And so, I'm going to say that the clicks are dots and the creaks are dashes because that's just what it seems like. So if we go with that, that means you have dot, dash, dot, dot, dash, dash. It doesn't actually tell us, like, that's more than one letter. And it doesn't actually tell us, like, where the words split up. So this is me writing that out and breaking it up to try to figure out the
Oh
letters.
my.
So initially I was like dot dash is A. So I was like maybe it's an A. But then dot dot dash dash is not another letter.
Mhm.
So it could be like A and then dot dot could be I and then dash dash could be M. So it could be aim. And then also like dot dash dot dot could be L. Dot dash dot could be R. And then E is just one dot. So then I got on like a rabbit hole of seeing how many different letters I could create starting with E just because it was short.
Mhm.
And so I got like E and W, and then I got EDM, and I was like, well, that's something. That's electronic dance music. So we're on to something. I don't know.
Mhm.
And then I got ETIM. So then I was like, maybe it's spelling time, but out of order. All that to
I
say,
love this.
none of this makes sense with what I assume the words could be.
Mhm.
And if you are wondering what my 2 words are, I will just say to those in the know, think of what Leo builds, and then think of the 2 easiest 4-letter words to describe that thing, and you probably know the words I'm thinking of.
I feel so out of the loop. This is so rude.
You'll find out. I also even looked up my 2 words in Spanish to see if there was like an extra layer here, and no. This was a dead end. And also, this is all banking on the fact that, like, these words are even correct. Like, it could be totally something else. But basically, I have come to the conclusion that the Morse code is probably just to create a vibe and it's not actually supposed to spell anything. And Rick Riordan did not give me a silly little puzzle to solve, which is a bummer. And then Festus's eyes go dark, and Leo cries. And I respect it. I love a man who can cry, and he's not even embarrassed about it. Like, feel your feelings. That's important.
Mhm.
And Jason tells Leo and Piper that what he promised Festus was based on his dad telling him that everything can be reused. And then he prays to his dad and asks him to take Festus's head back to Bunker 9. And the wind picks up the head and it carries it away. So, seems as if the prayer has been answered. And so Leo says he feels like a broken machine, but can't afford to break down completely, or else Festus will have died for nothing. And so now he says he's determined to finish the quest for his friends, his mom, and his dragon.
Way to go, Leo. You're a trooper.
Stop putting Leo through trauma.
Yeah, he's been through enough.
Like, he's been through too much already.
Mm-hmm.
And so we are apparently in Omaha, Nebraska. And we crashed into some big mansion security system, which involved lasers for whatever reason. And Festus took most of the fire, which allowed the rest of the crew to make to the ground safely. As you said, he saved them. And Jason doesn't think he'd be able to fly them all out again without being shot down. So Leo's like, if we can't go out, I guess we gotta go into the big giant mansion that tried to kill us. Great plan. And that's the end of this chapter. It's a pretty short one, but a very sad one.
Very sad. Heartbreaking.
First death of the series.
It's like when I thought Tyson was dead, and what was that? Was that Sea of Monsters?
Yeah, that was Sea of Monsters.
It's like that. But worse, because, well, you could bring him back, but he's gonna reuse him, but he might not be a dragon. He might not be Festus.
Yeah, might be different. Things change, and
I don't like that. It's not allowed.
also I called this chapter We Fall to Our Deaths to Laser Boogaloo because I love an electric boogaloo joke.
What is that from?
So I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's some video game like released a sequel And so it was like something to Electric Boogaloo, and then it just like kind of became a meme that then whenever you have a second one of something, it's just Electric Boogaloo.
Hmm.
That's my understanding of it anyway. But I also think it's very funny because I don't think I called the first chapter where they fell to their deaths, like We Fall to Our Deaths. So we don't have We Fall to Our Deaths 1, just We Fall to Our Deaths 2. Other ideas or other thoughts on this chapter?
I don't really have a chapter title. I felt like this one was hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, R.I.P. Festus.
Yeah, it's almost hard on the ones that like have actual plot things happen and they aren't just silly. It's like you can't
You
just
can't just like pick out like a random thing.
yeah. And you also can't call it like R.I.P. Festus because
It gives it away.
that's a spoiler. So
Yeah,
so then I just like went really silly and stupid with it.
I like it.
I feel like that's right. Like I feel like the saddest chapters should have the stupidest names.
Hmm.
All right. Now it's time to get back into Jason. You know, I never thought I would be happy to see Leo go, but it's kind of been a bummer being in his POV right now. So,
Let him rest.
yeah.
Let us rest.
We're gonna let Leo kind of privately grieve. You know what this is? This is like when they kill off a pet in like a piece of media, and it's always almost more upsetting than when you kill off a person.
Hmm.
Like that's what killing off Festus is. Okay, 31, Jason. So as they walk towards the house, Leo keeps them all from dying by deactivating all the booby traps in the way. And Jason tells him that he's amazing for this, and Leo scowls and said, "Yeah, can't fix a dragon right, but I'm amazing." So the comment from Jason back at Medea's clearly has stuck, and honestly probably hurts worse now that Festus is gone.
Oof. Yeah.
Because now we just have another death for Leo to blame himself for. Like, that's what this is.
Ouch.
If I wasn't fated to, like, do something, then my mom wouldn't have died. And then also, if I had fixed Festus right, maybe Festus wouldn't have died. Like,
Yeah.
Leo, baby,
It's not your fault.
it's not your fault. Festus was an old dragon. People are evil and killed your mom. It wasn't you. And so, despite all the traps, the door is unlocked for whatever reason, so they go right in. And Piper warns Jason that Leo is going to need some time to get over Festus. And Jason feels very terrible about what he said, and also for trying to kill him at Medea's. And he tells Piper he doesn't care if it's a trap, he wants to help her save her dad. And Piper just says not to make her feel worse, and that they should stick together. And Jason says, "Together! Yeah, we're doing great with that." And so the house is incredibly dark, and Leo can't make fire for whatever reason. And Jason looks around, and he worries that this whole place is a trap, but he is determined to keep them all together. And it's too cold to stay outside, so they have to go in, and they decide to make camp until they have enough daylight to make a real plan. And as Jason looks around, he notes that there seem to be metal statues of Greek gods and heroes lining the walls, which he thinks might be a good sign. And again, this is the lack of memory talking, because in what world would that ever be a good sign?
Oh god.
Like, at the very least, you are about to encounter some mythological
Yeah.
someone. 9 times out of 10, that person is not on your side.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And so I'm just a huge fan of the way that they come into this house and they're like, well, we might as well sit on these nice, comfy couches and hang out for the night. I'm like, you don't know whose house this is. Even if it's just a normal person, like, they could come out and be like, there's 3 dirty teenagers sleeping on my couches, and they also have a goat and some winds in a cage. Like, this is a lot.
Yeah.
And Jason also starts to nod off because the couches are really comfortable. Piper is on the other couch, either sleeping or just avoiding having a conversation about her dad. Jason feels guilty that she had to risk her dad's safety to save them at Medea's, and I need them to talk to each other instead of dancing around this and just both like feeling bad about it.
Yeah. Like, come on. Let's work through it. Let's put a game plan so we don't have to go into this fight blind, please. Give me
Yeah, because they're like, no, we want to help you, and we feel bad that you might choose us over your dad. And she's like, I don't want to have to choose either, so I'm just not. And trying to not make a decision never makes the decision any easier.
Yeah.
And, you know, for a guy who is like falling asleep on this couch, he really, like, he does a lot of things before he actually falls asleep. So he also notes that it's probably early on the 20th, meaning that the winter solstice is tomorrow. And that also means that Thalia's birthday is in 2 days. Not that Jason knows that,
Oh my gosh!
because her birthday is December the 22nd. And it's kind of wild that her birthday was the solstice 2 years ago when it was relevant to the plot, but this year it isn't. Because, fun fact, the solstice changes and can fall anywhere between the 20th and the 22nd each year. Someone always tries to argue with me. Every year when I post something about it being the solstice, people are like, no, the solstice is the 21st. I'm like, not always.
Nah.
Sometimes it's the 22nd, sometimes it's the 20th. It changes.
People just want to be right.
Yeah, but I'm always right, so don't try me.
Right.
Anyway, Leo tells Jason to get some sleep, but instead, Jason apologizes for what he said in Chicago. He says that Leo isn't annoying and he wishes that he could do half the things that Leo could. And Leo's response is incredible. He says, I try very hard to be annoying. Don't insult my ability to annoy. And how am I supposed to resent you if you go apologizing? I'm a lowly mechanic. You're like the Prince of the Sky, son of the Lord of the Universe. I'm supposed to resent you.
Love that answer, to be honest.
Like, this is the perfect teenage boy apology because it's sweet enough to work and to help cut the tension, but it's also this is not a heartfelt, touchy-feely moment.
Yeah. Come on, dude.
It's
gross.
just incredible. No notes. Leo tells Jason to go to sleep, and he's going to try to free Coach Hedge and also find a smaller container to transport the storm spirits. And Jason tries to continue the conversation and tell him that he did fix Festus because he gave him purpose again. And Leo just sighs and tells him to go to sleep because he needs some time without organic life forms. And so Jason does go to sleep, and he has no dreams, thank God, because we have already had our allotted dream chapter. And then Jason is awoken by screaming. And it's just incredibly funny that he's like, oh, someone is screaming. And Leo's just like, Coach is awake.
That's pretty good.
It's a little funny. And so Coach is trying to kill the storm spirits, but Jason and Leo stop him and kind of explain everything that's happened. And I have to admit to being a little bit of a Coach Hedge hater.
Really?
Yeah, he's just the type of incompetent that rubs me the wrong way. And I've said it before and I will say it again. In order for the kids to be the heroes, the adults have to be incompetent because no rational adult would be okay with a gang of 15-year-olds traveling across the country to save the world on their own. But he annoys me in a way that Chiron doesn't, because
Chiron is at least full of useful information,
yes, he's not very forthcoming with the information,
Yeah.
but Chiron at least feels wise, and it feels like I can trust Chiron to make the right decision. I can't trust Coach Hedge to not run into a fight and make things worse,
Yeah.
And it's kind of stressful to trust the 3 15-year-olds more than I trust this grown man to make the right call.
Right.
So I feel like saying Coach Hedge hater is too harsh. He stresses me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you can't trust him to do the right thing. He's funny, but he drives me nuts.
Fair.
But, he does at least notice that everything in the house is gold. And Leo notes that must be why they have so much security. And then a man comes out in his bathrobe and calls to his son, saying that there are strange people in the throne room. And so naturally, Coach raises his club and shouts, die, because that's who he is.
And in his defense, he was right. The guy was a threat. In his defense.
Yeah, but also you didn't know that yet.
I'm just saying, maybe he caught a vibe.
Sometimes you can talk your way out of a situation.
Well, not this.
But not when Coach is around.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so that's the end of that one. And I called it We're All in This Together because of the moment when Jason says, together, yeah, we're doing great at that. Jason and Leo have their little heart-to-heart, but it's also not entirely accurate because we still have the whole Piper thing that isn't resolved, but we also haven't had a Piper POV since Medea, so maybe it's coming. Maybe there's hope. The other thing I was kind of workshopping as a chapter title for this one, something about, we awaken the murder goat or something, but I was like, it feels too obvious. I don't know. This one was hard.
There was a thing where Jason was like, can you call a goat beefy? So mine was, yes, you can call a goat beefy. That was my...
That's good. I like that.
Yeah. That was a good chapter. I like that one.
That was fun. All right. And then our final chapter for this section, number 32, Jason. And so all three of them have to hold Coach back as this old man's son comes into the room. And so he's got on a shirt that says Cornhuskers, which is the mascot of the University of Nebraska in Lincoln, not the University of Nebraska in Omaha, where they currently are.
Rick.
Well, I mean, University of Nebraska Lincoln is the bigger campus, I
Mm-hmm.
believe. And I don't know, like I've been there. Our theater conventions used to be there.
Really?
Yeah. So I've been there twice. I've never been to the University of Nebraska in Omaha, but their mascot, I did look it up, they are the Mavericks, not the Cornhuskers. So
Cornhusker sounds better, though, let's be honest.
yeah, it's, I mean, the perfect mascot for a school in Nebraska.
Yeah.
I just think it's kind of funny that he's in a Cornhusker shirt. I actually have a picture of myself at the University of Nebraska because their bookstore, they sell like giant foam corn hats. And so I
Mm-hmm.
have a picture of myself in a giant foam corn hat.
Of course you do.
It's excellent.
Can you send it to me? Can you find it?
I will find it.
Thank you.
So Piper, you know, she's kind of our diplomat with her charm speak. She's trying to calm everyone down and avoid a fight, despite, you know, Coach doing his best to start one. I have to admit, his little, what about a compromise? I killed him first, and if it turns out they were friendly, I'll apologize, is very funny.
Very good.
Again, he's hilarious, stresses me out.
So fair.
Like, there has never been a situation that has been made better or smoother by the presence of Coach Ed. Also, Jason gets jealous about Piper smiling at Lit. Like, come on, Jason.
Trying to charm speak, you dummy.
Yeah. Also, I have no idea how to say his full name.
Don't even worry about it. Just call him Lit.
Yeah, I was like, thank God he has a nickname, so I can just call him Lit. And I even looked it up, and it seemed incorrect, the pronunciation that it gave me, because in my head, I'm always like, Lidierces? But the video that I listened to was like, Lightierces? And I was like, you can't, your nickname can't be Lit if your name is Lie, you know?
Yeah. It's gonna match.
Yeah, so I'm like, it can't be that, like, Lidierces? I don't know. Lit from here on out, just by the way. So the guy in the bathrobe reveals himself to be King Midas and invites them all to sit down. And Coach says Midas died. And Midas says, yeah, I think I was dead for a little while, but it feels kind of like a dream. But he's here now, and he's enjoying himself very much. Lit is also standing there looking at Piper and flexing.
It's so ridiculous. Like a ridiculous image.
No, I know. But also, like, if I had a sword and there was a pretty girl, I would be showing off. Like,
Fair.
unfortunately, there has been some very relatable, like, man behavior in these chapters for me, and maybe that's something that I need to examine. And
Look inward now.
yeah, am I the problem? I don't think I'm the problem. I will admit to this. So Strava came to my run club today to make some content. I don't know why they want
Mm-hmm.
videos of us running, but they did. And so before we started running, one of the girls from Strava was like going around to everyone. She was like, "Why do you come to this run club? Wrong answers only." And so, like, I'm a part of a women's only run club. And so she's like going around asking people, and she's like, "Why do you come to this run club?" And I was like, "The hot women." Why did I say that?
I don't know if that one's going in the video.
No, I think it's probably not. Um, but I was like, "Who am I?" Like,
Pretty
the
funny.
spirit of a frat boy possessed me for a moment.
The hot women. That's pretty funny.
I mean, like, it's not a lie. The women I run with are very beautiful, but that's not why I go to run club.
It's really funny. Well, she said wrong answers only.
I know. I just picked a very weird wrong answer. Anyway, maybe I'm the problem.
Hi, it's me. Oh my god, I can't remember. What is that? How does Anti-Hero go?
It's me. Hi,
There
I'm
we
the
go.
problem. It's
I was
me.
like, I don't remember. I haven't listened to
Yeah.
that song forever.
It's like that video that I sent you, the Instagram reel. That was like, anytime I see a woman on the screen who is like very clearly dressed for the male gaze, I, a lesbian, unfortunately, am like, yeah.
Hell yeah. So fair. Duality of
Yeah,
lesbians.
right. I can be like, it's anti-feminist when other people do it, but when I do it, it's okay.
It's different.
Anyway, so Lit was standing there and flexing for Piper. And Jason kind of looks at him and wonders, oh, do I look that hot and ripped while holding a sword? And he, like, really doesn't think he does. And I would have to agree he probably doesn't, because again, he is 15. And so Piper asks if Midas and Lit have a patron. Midas asks if it matters. And Coach offers to kill him again. So Jason finally, like, sends Coach outside and tells him to go stand guard.
I want justice for Coach Edge. He offered multiple times, okay?
He did. But at the time, it was like, does this really need to happen?
He was right. He was just too
Yeah.
early.
He was right. And then when the time came, he wasn't ready.
He wasn't yeah. He got distracted.
So Midas also explains that they settled in Omaha because they heard that there was an oracle there, but he was apparently mistaken. And so I looked it up, and it said that Warren Buffett is sometimes called the Oracle of Omaha.
Oh, Jesus.
And so I'm like, is he talking about Warren Buffett?
Ew. Well, gold.
I mean, like, it makes sense, but I was like...
Warren Buffett, Jesus.
But also, like, that's kind of funny to be like, yeah, we're gonna go to Omaha because there's an oracle, and then it's
Warren
just Warren
Buffett.
Buffett.
Was it Berkshire Hathaway, whatever his company's called? Yep, let's follow this.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Anyway, Midas is here making gold. And so Piper is kind of confused because she thought he gave up the golden touch after he accidentally turned his daughter into gold. And he assures her that he did never give up the touch. He just learned that you can reverse it with running water. And so this is why they live by a river, just in case. And then he then turns Piper's backpack into gold. And this apparently also makes it magic. And so he tells them to put the storm spirits in it, which is incredibly convenient. And also, I don't know why he does this when he was just planning on turning them into gold anyway. But thank you for the help. And also, he reveals that he apparently turned his daughter back into gold because she was annoying.
Yeah, that did not like that.
No, that's not great. And he also, like, it's just a series of, like, absolute ridiculousness. He takes off his hat and reveals that he has donkey ears because he once judged a music competition between Pan and Apollo, and when Apollo didn't win, he said that Midas must have the ears of an ass, and then literally gave him the ears of an ass.
I gotta be honest, Midas feels so Trump-coded.
Ooh, I hate that.
Yeah. Just sit with that for a second. All I could think about when I was reading this. It was a golden palace, yes. Like all of his mannerisms, how he talked about his daughter. I was like, yep,
No. You ruined Midas for me.
I mean, he was an asshole, so.
I know. It's like, well, he already sucked. He admits that he was brought back to bankroll their patron, and also Lit was brought back to provide a little bit of muscle. And he says that he explained all of this to the hunters of Artemis, who apparently came through, but they didn't understand him at all. And he also says, at one point a little bit later, he's like, they just refuse to be turned into gold, like, as most rational people would. And so, at the mention of the hunters, literal electricity, like, runs through Jason's body because he realizes that his sister has been there. His sister that he didn't know existed, like, 4 days ago. But that's fine. And Lit says that they were looking for some evil wolves and also a missing demigod, Percy. And with the mention of wolves, Jason thinks about how in his dream with Hera, he had heard enemy wolves that she called her keepers. And so he's like, this all has to be connected.
It's connected.
I've connected them. You haven't connected. Then Midas offers them a choice. So they can either be turned to gold or they can die at the hands of Lit. Then he just grabs Piper and Leo and turns them into gold.
So rude.
And, thank God he told us how to reverse this, because imagine if Piper and Leo were just dead like that.
Yeah, what the hell?
Like, they're just statues. Jason kind of almost treats it like they're dead. He's like, I can't believe my friends are just gone. And I'm like, you just gotta put them in the river outside. I mean, I know it's kind of a bummer right now that you don't have backup in this fight, but
you can get them back.
It's gonna be okay. They're gonna be fine. But also, I don't know if in the moment I would be thinking that rationally either.
Fair enough.
So then Jason says he doesn't want to be turned to gold. He wants to choose combat. And so he flips his coin and he gets his javelin. And Midas, at least, is very impressed that he has a gold weapon. And so the fight starts, and Jason kind of pays attention to Lit's moves and notes that they are all offense and no defense. And then Lit says Jason doesn't fight like a Greek. And he says it's Roman legion training. And he doesn't know how he knows this, but this is kind of the most confirmation that we've gotten about his
Mhm.
past, so that's kind of wild. Then it's very funny to me that Lit then asks what Roman is. And Jason says, while you were dead, they defeated Greece and created the greatest empire of all time. And then Jason knocks Lit over and tells Midas he better help him
Mhm.
up, which, of course, turns him to gold.
Mhm.
And then Midas starts trying to turn Jason into gold, but Jason gets angry and thinks I'm the son of Zeus and starts to summon lightning. And he tells Midas, hey, you know what another great use for gold is? Conducting electricity, and then explodes the roof and like electrifies everything and drops the chandelier and pins Midas under it.
Badass.
Incredible. And it also starts to rain, which I assume is Jason's doing as well. And so it starts to turn all the statues back. And it's at this point that Coach Hedge runs in and is like, what did I miss? And Jason's like, where were you? I called for help. But Hedge was apparently just outside eating grass.
He needed a snack, okay? He was in that cage for a while.
He was, and like it's valid that he wanted a snack, but
Timing, buddy.
it's incredibly funny that the one who like wanted a fight then missed the
Yeah.
entire fight. And also, I can like see the comedy movie in my head where you have like Jason fighting for his life, and then you cut to Coach Hedge just like out on the lawn
Yeah.
eating grass. And then you cut back to Jason fighting for
Mm-hmm.
his life. Comedy
He's
gold.
so good.
And so Jason and Hedge kind of grab Leo and Piper, and they leave Midas with the statues that are rapidly becoming very angry people with weapons once again. So this was kind of our first real Jason-led fight, and I just have to say, it's about time. It only took 350 pages for us to see that alleged Roman legion training in action.
I was impressed. I have to be honest. I enjoyed that fight scene and his powers.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, why did it take till
Yeah.
now?
Like, buddy, you were in quite a few sticky situations before this.
Yeah. So I had called this chapter 24 Karat Magic
Great title.
because not bunnies and not diamonds, 24 karat gold.
I forgot that gold is measured that way, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. It was making me crazy when you were making your predictions. You were like, I hope it's bunnies. And then you were like, oh, it's diamonds. And I was like, what else? What else is measured in carats?
You think I would know that too, with the fact that I love jewelry.
I know. You were literally like, I only care about bunnies and jewelry. And I was like, you're going to be so mad when you
Yeah.
realize that it's gold.
Not my brightest moment.
It's okay. That was at the end of an episode, and you were very tired.
Will give me a pass.
Because also, you had just come back from Atlanta.
Oh my god, that was crazy.
All right. Other chapter ideas for that one?
No, I like yours. That's good.
I like that one too. The one that I didn't like was the we're all in this together one, but I think you had a good one for that one. So,
Thank you.
wow, teamwork.
Teamwork, yeah.
All right. So, before we get into our next 4 chapters, you got any other predictions or thoughts? Maybe about what's going on with all this Roman nonsense?
I really don't. It's kind of driving me crazy. They're on their way to the Bay Area, and nothing good could come out of there, so.
So true.
Yeah.
All right. So, we've got 33, 34, 35, 36 next time. 2 Pipers, 2 Leos. So 33 is Piper chapter, and I have called it Coach Fixes Everything with Mushroom Gatorade.
I really don't know about this one. This is the one where I didn't like write anything for. I'm like, what the hell? But I am very excited to read it just because of this little title that you wrote.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
34, also Piper. I called This Guy Is Not Like Jacob from Twilight.
I wrote the crew runs into a werewolf in parentheses not sexy.
Incredible. 35, Leo. And I've called this Leo Third Wheels, parentheses. What else is new?
I just said there's going to be more relationship development between Piper and Jason.
Yes, I also have a very good alternate title for this one that I cannot wait to share, but I think it was too much of a spoiler, so I'm
Okay.
holding off.
Okay.
And then 36, also Leo. Things go wrong, and of course it's Leo's fault.
I said that he burned something down again. I was like, that's kind of mean, but.
Not again! Poor guy.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that the things go wrong, and of course it's Leo's fault, is very similar to a scene from a movie that I really loved as a child. So
Okay.
we'll get into those next time. Very exciting. It's kind of crazy. We're more than halfway done with this book.
Wow. I feel
Yeah,
like we
so
just started.
after this one, we have 5 more episodes of this book.
Oh my gosh.
It's been a wild time. All right, well, I don't have anything else. You have anything else?
I got nothing, babe.
All right, well, we'll be back with 33 through 36 next time, and some werewolves, parentheses, not sexy. Catch you later. Hi, you can find us on social media at @DemigodDebutPod. You can also find the links to all of our socials in the episode description. If you enjoy consuming this podcast, please consider leaving us a rating or review wherever it is you are listening. See you next time. Bye!